Is that a human? That's amazing! This is an example of a really good joke that I really enjoy. I wish I could come up with a green screen joke for it. Actually, screw it, I can. This video isn't made for kids, YouTube. So here's something. Well, here we are again, almost a full year later, with something less on the creepy side, but horrifying in its own right, and that is just the unapologetically blasé nature that is kids' films these days. The mind-numbing lol random bath, the monopolizing corporate push for merch, and more merch, and the endless collection of baby and fart and butt jokes scattered into every 10 minutes of the runtimes of these kind of films. And what could be more the embodiment of such a modern, worrying trope than the guys who hopped on it second, DreamWorks, and their soul-selling decision to create another Trolls movie. We last talked about the original 11 months ago and have yet to cover when they made more, so today's the day we're gonna do that. In the past, the company has scrapped all sorts of intriguing projects for the likes of Boss Baby and its franchise, and who knows what else has been swallowed by their other shiny new franchise. Regardless, this is what we have now, so let's just dive in. Looking this up on Amazon Prime, I did actually find there's a whole dance party edition, but I think I'll skip that one personally. I'm not really the type, to say the least. Though actually, from what I've heard, the reviews for this movie aren't actually that bad. Kind of? I guess we'll see about that. Also, gotta love how they called it Trolls World Tour to avoid the disastrous other Trolls 2.
Oh my god!
Ah, DreamWorks are celebrating their 25th with a logo style like Marvel and Illumination combined. To be fair, I guess this really does encapsulate modern DreamWorks in a nutshell. Oh, great. Starting off right away with my favorite character.
I'm the type of cloud that goes for this sort of thing.
What? What a start! So we start off with exploring the freshly expanding wider world of the Trolls, taking us to the Techno Trolls. A genuinely super aesthetically pleasing look of some fishy trolls in their Undertale-esque pixel hearts. And sure, I could ramble at you about how it's a diluted version of techno music that also absorbs house and dubstep and all sorts of others that are clearly different genres in its own right, but I think it's fine enough here. It's a kid's movie. Though the head troll is Trollex, as in Skrillex, I think, which of all references seems a little outdated for a movie as mainstream as this one. Anyway, we begin with the hard rock trolls invading with their queen Barb. See, that's a much better name. Completely taking over, using her music to physically destroy the lands, which looks great. Shame the techno trolls don't really put up a fight. And we cut over to our protagonist's life.
Oh, can you shut up? It's 7 AM in the morning.
Hey, wait a minute, I thought Branch had a whole arc last movie of finding his colors. They even said it in the intro. Instead, this time, he's back to before and he's got an arc of confessing to Poppy, our original. Oh, and...
Yeah, Tiny Diamond is my name. Come straight from my daddy's name.
What is this? Maybe it's a seedling of a theme to come about how trolls can reach across music genres, considering this is a rap-esque troll within the pop dimension? No, it's just merchandising. And here's our fan favorite James Corden in another musical, wow! Bringing us this rabid bat to be cuddled to calmness. Warning of the hard rock troll's future arrival. Why would they leave a warning? Oh, is this a recurring thing that'll come back for the finale sequence? No! It happens twice in this scene, and never again, okay. And so we reach our exposition dump, learning about how there are several different types of trolls that each had their own musical taste and musical string, and fought until each split apart. And now one wants to control all the others. So with Poppy only hearing one big party of harmony instead of the conflict of combining all the strings, she heads off to negotiate as Branch comes with his realist pessimism. Also, the horse gets to go on their own adventure. The benefits of being a fan favorite. And actually, I prefer his angle, spotting a troll that looks more like him and going on an identity quest. Also, James Corden is here on the balloon. The benefits of being contracted as a frontliner. So with the adventure starting, it's time for Baby's first genocide. The land of the classical music trolls has already been burned to the ground, and all that remains is this one sentient recorder, animated on twos and actually really stylistic because of it. When Barb crashed in, she wiped them out with her Scott Pilgrim powers, and the classical trolls did nothing. Is she the only one that can actually battle with her music? Am I the only one that sees this as a massive missed opportunity? All they've done with it is rip a choral structure in half and given us one classical motif. Give me some special effects head-to-head clash. Anyway, from this, Poppy is invigorated to protect her pop string rather than go for her negotiating route, and promises so through a pinky promise.
You know you can't go back on a pinky promise. A pinky promise.
Wow, that's actually a cool concept. I wonder if that'll be a thematic thing to return in the finale. No, not really. It's just a minor thing. Also, I feel a sense of that thing where people complain that all the Marvel characters are diluted into the same quippy attitude with this recorder.
This just got real.
That just feels like a really Poppy thing to say, you know? Isn't there something more emblematic of her reality to say here? Anyway.
Someone has to rebuild.
I wonder if this will come back. It doesn't. So, Poppy's messenger glitter bat finally makes its return to Barb, and the optimism comes off as incredibly insulting. And for the cynical people in the audience, the villain comes off as the one with the better points.
Friendship takes time and years of mutual care and respect. You don't just become best friends.
Also, the comments on pop music itself are pretty...
It's bland, it's repetitive, the lyrics are empty.
Actually, yeah, why are the hard rock trolls the villains of this story? When you look at the monopolizing state of the real music industry and the travesty that is the pop music genre, what with its inane samplings and remixings of content that already exists and its psychologically manufactured designs to push for maximum consumption in this overtly corporate merchandising world, really makes no sense that they're actually the protagonist here. Anyway, it's time for the bounty hunters. Why are there bounty hunters? Because we haven't represented every type of music genre yet. You know the ones. Yodeling, reggae, K-pop. I'm genuinely surprised that's in this movie. And jazz! Why are these guys just lone wolves and don't get a kingdom of their own? I mean, come on, jazz isn't big enough to be its own kingdom? Also, I get that it's a characterization to have your jazz representative as a 70s-esque, going to steal your girl sexy guy, but considering it's just one guy, I feel like it's a bit of a misrepresentation when you consider the real-world origins of where exactly jazz comes from. But hey, I'm not gonna read into it that far anymore. At least we've got funk. Is that a spoiler? I guess it's a spoiler. Who cares?
Dude, where are the yodelers?
You're not missing much. By the way, as you're halfway, if you're not already, subscribe. I can see if you're not. Or hit the bell. I can see that too. Or here's a new prompt. Want to see an element of some behind the scenes this video? We've actually made this video partially live on our Twitch. Here's a clip. And then, take all of this. Is that a human? Will be the very first thing we see, like a preview. Plug that in, first minute, made for kids, not gonna happen. Maybe we'll do it again sometime. Yeah, it's up to you, really. Anyway, those are my plugs. Here's some others. Back to the video. The pop trolls have made it to the country kingdom now, singing a sad song, as some people do. But the pop trolls just don't understand and respond how James Corden probably would in real life, badly.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
You know, the cringiness of this response is really elevated by the fact that the Trolls franchise never makes an original song. It's literally all just covers of mainstream music, like a cheat code to getting a good response out of audiences. Just found out that's called a jukebox musical. We don't like jukebox musicals. So anyway, they're put in jail where they belong, and then they're immediately hoiked out by this guy.
Branch, this is Hickory. Hickory, this is Branch.
Enough with the formalities, let's go!
This is a 90-minute movie, and it shows. Like Raya and the Last Dragon, we go way too fast to all these different worlds. But that's just modern kids' movies anyway. Still, as we leave, I still enjoy the Paper Mario-esque design of the Western world here, and they make some really great visual choices, like this lasso star here. Then they make some other choices later on.
Happy birthday?
Why? I saw this moment in the trailer, and I gotta say, controversial opinion here, I would go out on a limb, at a stretch, and say, in the right context, if I was 5, maybe I would actually find this funny. But this isn't the right context. What is the context? I thought we were beyond lol random humor. I thought that died a decade ago. God, why am I watching this? I'm 25. Let's move on. Is that a human? That's amazing! This is an example of a really good joke that I really enjoy. I wish I could come up with a green screen joke for it. Actually, screw it, I can! This video isn't made for kids, YouTube. So here's something.
Poppy, how'd you like the sushi?
This makes me uncomfortable. This is our first bounty hunter, the smooth jazz guy. He's defeated. He can do all this flying around, but the moment he touches water or his saxophone... The movie's gotta move on, damn it. We're skimming through here. Move. Remember that old pinky promise?
As your queen, I promise that I will protect you no matter what.
It's not for the finale, and there's never another one. It's so James Corden can leave here. Because it was broken, apparently. Because someone out of Poppy's control popped up. Kinda weak. Kinda annoying. Kinda whiny. James Corden. Why does he projectile off of the worm? Lol random. That's why. Lol random. I'll tell you, that cut, that doesn't sound like he says. With him gone, we come to meet our next type of troll, the Funk Trolls, apparently owning an alien ship. Where's their kingdom? And also slurping birthday butt boy. Also, there is family. What follows next is a surprisingly adult comment. We've had baby's first genocide, and now it's baby's first history retelling. Yay! Turns out the trolls didn't all divide. Pop trolls tried to conquer, and the others skedaddled from them. Oof. And then the hard rock trolls roll in again. Is there finally room for an actual conflict now we have the most technologically advanced troll species? Actually, yes! But we get pulled away, so no. But now things come to a head. Branch and Poppy finally split as Poppy continues to naively push forward with her own narrative as opposed to listening to what everyone else has said on their adventure and how differences do matter, and they part ways. Well, except the next scene has them singing a love song with an imaginary version of the other one. But after that, we have then more bounty hunters as well. 2 at once this time, because we gotta speed through this runtime. Okay, K-pop versus reggaeton. Not with the big energy weapons, just dancing for 10 seconds with Branch, who magically knows the choreography. Is this symbolic of a troll that can enjoy any type of music? No, it's just padding. Or skimming, it's just there. As for Poppy, she reunites with Hickory, who, surprise, surprise...
Nine! What are you doing, Hickory? Show her who you really are. Hickory!
You're the yodelers?
How does Poppy already know the yodelers are bounty hunters exactly? Either way, Barb also shows up and immediately gets the pop string. When did Hickory let go? And it's all coming together. But first... James Corden! Remember him? I thought we were gone. Okay. He's returned to Pop Village, and it's baby's second genocide. Woo! Though every main Pop character seems to have survived. Funny that. James Corden suddenly realizes he shouldn't have been a coward, and they go to set things straight with the power of fashion. And now we reach the final area, the lava lands that are the Hard Rock Trolls Kingdom. That fashion thing is just resolved immediately. They dressed up as kind of rockers. Don't know how much time passed for them to walk here, but And as Poppy is caged, Barb gets her fully string guitar. The concert begins with lava deaths, heads of states on pedestals. The Pop Trolls are there, and then Branch comes to save the day. Well, never mind. With her newfound powers, Barb zaps each leader of the kingdom, one after another, until...
What are you...
Gumdrops. Soundproof and delicious.
Wait, what? So because she couldn't hear the power cord, her body would transform, but she wouldn't. Her eyes would glow red, but that means nothing? she would be able to perfectly play the electric guitar for this entire sequence, but she's still herself? This seems way too far out to give us this fake out. I mean, come on. And then she just...
Voices.
Smash. Now, this sequence, unlike the last one, I actually really like, though I guess it is also formulaic. Hey look, here's another desaturated sadness scene, just like the first movie. But I like how it was a throwback to the silent era that we heard about in the exposition, until everyone comes to the conclusion that the music was inside them all along. Wow. This might have been a cool opportunity to lean on that almost theme of genres overlapping, like how Birthday Butt Boy is both funk and pop, Baby Diamond likes rock and pop, Branch seems to get along with everything, though I could also see it being a cool idea if they explored how he's unfitting as a pop troll but great as a depressing country troll, or how children in general in this movie seem to briefly be open to other people's musics before they're whisked away by their parents. But really, it just turns into a cacophony of all music genres in one big sing-song. Although, is it really? Because to me, as they sing, it seems overwhelmingly pop to me. Sure, there are some funk horns sometimes. The yodelers get one note. And Country Horse Girl does say the words. But it just sounds like a pop song with some accompaniment. Barb barely gets to even use her electric guitar. For a medley, it sure isn't much of a celebration of other sounds, you know? Like, it really misses the mark here, I hear. In fact, smooth jazz wasn't there at all. He's permanently antagonized. But other than that, everyone's happy. Branch confesses to Poppy, and that's the end of the romantic arc. To be fair, I didn't want to see them kiss. And the king praises Poppy for having the bravery to think she can change the world. Even the Rock King is content, who, by the way, is Ozzy Osbourne, because of course it is. Also in the end credits, everyone's incorporated and James Corden's worm dies. Why? Because it lol random almost died last time and liked it. And here's that wrapped up. I hope James Corden mourns. A happy ending for all. Apart from the Burgons, who just don't exist in the reality of Kingdoms, apparently. Semi-retcon from before, like Branch's colors. Clearly, this movie was going for a metaphor, what with everyone being different and celebrating that. But it gets awfully lost in translation. Harmony isn't being the same, but boy did that ending sound like one poply heap. The villains are the angry, rebellious ones, rather than the legitimately hollow state of pop music with their samplings and empty lyrics. So many characters were introduced, but so few were given any time in order to squeeze past everything in 90 minutes. And there were so many just blippy pieces that kind of stitch together like a scrapbook, but at the end of the day, it's a very unimpactful movie, but not as cringy as it could have been. The DreamWorks visuals and creativity are still top-notch, but boy do I just wish this wasn't a jukebox musical. But hey, money. You can expect a Trolls 3 in the future. In fact, Justin Timberlake mentioned in 2020 something about 7 movies, so this isn't the end anytime soon. I just wonder if the franchise will run out of mainstream music to cover. Please, just something original next time. My god. This movie wasn't god-awful, but I'll still have a lot of pet peeves with it. And then I'll watch the third one immediately. I'm invested now, so, you know, send help. For now, my name's been Daz. You didn't really care. That was the Terrible Trolls World Tour, and I'll see you in a bit. I'm old.